Glad to have you join us again. Now let's get talking as we look at trading activities at the Nigerian Exchange. But before then, let's tell you that the Nigerian Exchange Limited All-Share Index and Market Capitalization increased by 1.29% last week, closing at 65,558.91 basis points and 35.881 trillion naira respectively. The market recorded a total turnover of 1.812 billion naira shares worth 29.299 billion naira exchanged in 31.163 deals by investors on the floor of the exchange, in contrast to a total of 1.689 billion shares valued at 29.407 billion naira. The exchange ends in the preceding week in 29,477 deals. The financial services industry, measured by volume, led the activity chart with 936.658 million shares valued at 10.116 billion naira, traded in 12,886 deals, thus contributing 51.68% and 34.53% to the total equity turnover volume and value respectively. Ambrose Omodion, Chief Research Officer, Invest Data Consulting Limited, joins me now live in the studio to do some analysis of these figures as we also make projection for the brand new week and also for trading activities in this day of August the 28th, 2023. Ambrose, good morning. A pleasure having you join me on the program.
Thanks for having me. Blessed.
First off, GDP report came out last week. What's it called now? Last week Friday. But I know it's not having any reaction on the market yet. But before we go into that, what will you say about activities, trading activities at the NGS last week?
For me, despite it was a bull dominance, but still have a missed market. Okay. Because in terms of buying sentiment, how about 52 buy sentiment and 48 sell position? It says that the market is missed. And for me, it tells you that there are some few industries that saw buying interest more because of one news or the other in the market, and this is how investors should also invest, or traders. This news will always drive sentiment to one direction, but your ability to know where the sentiment is moving is also, that's why I tell you that as a trader investor, this portfolio rotation, rebalancing, and the sectoral rotation will continue every day, especially if you are trading the market. But for those that are long term, you can key into value and do a hold on. For what happened last week, for me, there's no cause for alarm because the market is still having that trace of bull, market still above 65,000 market or something. This morning, you can always see that market has opened on a positive note. Just in reaction of what happened last week, why I said so that the factor that brought it last week also has continued. This morning, we are seeing that boa food, so it has also demand on that stock, and also we have not seen the two the emerging families, which is the Dangote group that we have not seen their movement this morning. But also seen that Transcorp, because of the 60% acquisition of Abuja,
electric development company.
Yeah, we have seen that also. There's a demand for that stock this morning. Because the investors are moving where there is value. Because I believe that investors have seen if Transcorp can acquire 60% of Abuja, distribution company, not generating. Also, they are into generating already. Also, they are not going to a distribution company. For me, it becomes a good business for them that they are generating. That means all their generation will also have a place to go. That means money will come into. So that's why investors are thinking that, and don't forget that energy is like utility. Yeah. That we need it every day. And I tell you, Abuja, where it is now, that's that's where we have the iBrand people that they need light and they will pay. And for me, it's a good one for Transcorp. And that means that their business model is already working. And investors are seeing that there's value in that company. If you compare to what we are seeing in Geregu today, because the Geregu is almost at 300 and something. Why this company that has more value as we speak? The way they are going, more than 2,000 megawatt of Nigeria will be electricity generated from Transcorp. For me, it's a good deal for them. If they have now where they can price it and they're generating, they're getting money, good business. That's why investors are thinking that already. We must go for value, and that's what is happening in the market.
All right, good one now. With GDP reports coming out on Friday last week, Nigeria's economic growth now at 2.51%. How do you think the market is going to react to it? Looking at projection for today's trading activities.
For me, despite you mentioned growth, for me, that's a disappointing growth if it's anything like that. But I believe that in any situation, whether it's challenging, there's always opportunity. Okay. So I believe that, yes, this is a kind of, for me, a task before the new government and their minister. And the minister, why I say so is that you have seen that we are dragging feet. In terms of performance, you can see from Q1 to Q2, there's kind of a leap.
Yeah.
But if you compare it to what we did in 2022, about 3.54 is a decline. That means we're going nowhere. You can say you make a step forward. And for me, I believe that this is the time now. With this GDP that we just see now, the economic team of the president, the coordinating minister for the government, and also other ministers that they have to work as a team so that they put Nigeria economy in the path of growth, and that is very, 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 very necessary and very, very compulsory for them. They need to do that now. If not, because the way things are going globally and also in Africa, we need to check the poverty in Nigeria. Because as we are seeing this GDP, where a population is going faster than your GDP, it's a problem. That means you need to do something to make sure that you go in that direction. Because it means that if population is going more than that means people are becoming poorer, and that will lead to another thing. We're saying of insecurity today, and this is part of it. If you can address economic security, we are already putting security around. But if people can engage themselves, I think there will be less of evil thoughts in their mind or going out to do. I believe that this is the area the government to start right away. Yes, but they need security too, because I tell you, if you want to grow your economy, you must have your. That means the chief, the army chiefs, all of them have to also put their hands on that. Everybody, both you and I, to me that we work to me that our economy is secure, Nigeria is secure, and also we are moving forward to deliver value.
I know you're not an economist, but then again, you have sound knowledge about the economics and I understand how things work. But we were having this conversation before we came on there about the 6% target, GDP growth target that the president had for the country, hopefully for the next 7 years. And then the minister of finance, so I think it was 7 years. The period is going to be in office. That was the announcements that was made.
7 years, too much for us to get. No. I thought in the next 2-3 years we'll be working towards 7 years.
But that's my question now. That's my question now. Do you think that the current minister of finance, because he has been talking tough on that and saying that they had to get the economy working to ensure that we achieve that target, but the question now is, what kind of reforms should the minister be looking at now? Because he's going to be working closely with the president and also going to be working closely with other ministers as the coordinating minister of the economy. What kind of reforms should we see that will be market-driven, also to ensure that we have more investment in the capital markets?
Actually, for me, it's not going to work in isolation of, as mentioned, like the security area of what we are seeing in Nigeria. We must have security first before any other thing can strive. Fine, it's good that the physical and the monetary will have to shake hands and put the economy in the right direction. But I believe what they have started already in terms of reform, they are already in a body that they need to go and rethink the strategy they are using. Before you can unify exchange rate, you must have taken care of your world, make sure that there is supply. What we are seeing up and down today is because there is no supply in the market. If they can address that issue and also look the way of our oil production, it's very, very key, because that is major source.
There has been a decline in recent time.
That is a major source. But in all, like a lot of people that even when there is war, when there's challenges, there's opportunity for us as traders or investors.
Okay.
What you look at now, if you look at the GDP, it just shows you that there are sectors that are still not contributing to the economy.
Yeah,
growth.
the services sector.
So yes, if you look at service sector, and you also look at what has just happened in the last half year, you know that the service sector are the one that they were not hit. But even with the exchange unification, it tells investors where they should also be putting their attention now. But I believe that the manufacturing sector is also that any economy, manufacturing sector is the engine room, because that is where people are engaged. We employ more factories. That means what government has to do that we address the issue of effort so that we can bring that sector up again to create more jobs. Because I tell you, as we are really number of people coming from university and no job, we're also sitting on a gunpowder.
Well, employment rate has declined by 4% since the last time the NBS actually gave the figure. It shows that more Nigerians are getting jobs. So what would you say concerning that?
You just drop it another. But let me just tell you, that is the statistics. I agree with you, and they have a model.
Yeah.
And the model is telling us that it's a decline, but we need to know where it covers.
Okay.
That's what people don't understand. When people say decline, you need to know which area. What are these? All the statistics. Is it between 14 and 35? Is it for we should know those that are above, are they still employed or no? This is, but I believe that this is a new data that we're having in Nigeria. That's a new data.
And they say there's a new methodology to that.
As it's coming in, it's good for us to guide us as analysts and also investors what to do. Good one, but we want to take time, analyze, and see what their scope is, and before we can. I didn't mention even since they released it. I don't know, because I'm still looking at area where it's covered before we can start. But for GDP, we can always pull along. But for this one, like I keep quiet because I see that we must know, because if you say you're having a decline on employment, we need to know the model and also the what we are covering, because if you look at what is happening in Nigeria outside, you know that there is no work in Nigeria.
Okay, we'll leave it at that, but finally in 30 seconds, Ambrose, what is your final thought as we'll await the figures for today's trading activities at the NGS?
Yeah, well, like I said earlier, market has opened in the green today, which is good, and we're seeing BUA food getting almost another 10 naira from 65 to almost 71. That's almost 6 naira. For that will hold the market. But we want to see how the market, the broader market will behave at the end of the day. Well, I think that the consumer goods become the toast of investors now because of World Food have changed the date for their corporate action closer that they are having their AGM on the 14th of September. And also, we are seeing that what is happening in Boa is also indirectly telling us what's going to happen in the group of Dangote Foods. Let's see that our market is writing to all this information. I believe that this is what investors should be doing, process what is happening and key in that direction. Don't just sit at the fence and be watching, because despite the market is oscillating, there's a mistrend in the economy, there's changing the macroeconomic factors, but let's still look at what is happening in the market. Sentiment is very, very key.
Sentiment, he said, is very, very key. So watch out and see how the market is going to play out today when the figures eventually come out at 2:30. Ambrose Omodion, Chief Research Officer, Invest Data Consulting Limited. Thank you as always for your insight and in-depth analysis on market activities.
Thanks for having me.